Hello everyone. Actually, this video is on the types of income tax applicable to individual taxpayers. Yesterday, Wednesday, during our class, we encountered technical difficulties no kay the connection, my internet connection is very hina. So we really find it very hard also in communicating. Mahirap sa mobile na Google Classroom at saka yung sa laptop, no? Iba talaga, iba ang mga feels. So right now, I've prepared actually the slide. Merong slides kahapon, but it was not presented kasi nga, very choppy, very, hindi talaga mag-connect. So, eto na nga yun. So, here, we have the different types of income tax applicable to individual taxpayers. So, you have here the basic tax. Okay, you have the basic tax. The next one is the final withholding tax. And the last one is the capital gains tax. We already discussed the final withholding tax on passive income, but I believe we need to discuss it more pa with illustrative examples so that you could grasp the concept. As well as the capital gains tax, hindi pa nga tayo napupunta sa basic tax, nag-advance lang tagamay because of lack of material time. But right now, since this short video, actually, this 15-minute video, the preparation is very, alam niyo na, iba kasi yung PowerPoint presentation compared yung nagsusulat lang sa board. So, embracing the new normal ito. So, first, muna, kasi nga, yung basic tax niyang definition, kung hindi siya hindi applicable yung capital gains tax, at hindi din yung final withholding tax on passive income, dun siya papasok sa basic tax. Okay? So, it would be easier for us if we will start with, at the bottom, yung capital gains tax, then the final withholding tax, tsaka natin puntahan si basic tax. So, on capital gains tax, saan ba galing yung capital gains tax, guys? Actually, we have here an asset. An asset, may dalawang classification ng asset, no? If you could still remember the definition of an asset is a resource controlled of an entity by which future economic benefits are expected to flow. So that is the accounting definition of an asset. So an asset can be categorized as an ordinary asset, ito yan, or it could also be a capital asset. When you say ordinary asset, it simply means that it is used in ordinary course of business, or it could form part of the inventory. So, of course, if sabihin natin used in ordinary course of business at inventoriable siya, nagiging part siya ng cost of goods sold and that it will ultimately computed based on the basic income tax. Di ba? So, yan. Kung you are a mixed income earner, tapos meron kang sole proprietorship, ina-add lang naman yung net income earned in your business and income you earn from compensation. Tapos, scheduler lang yung ginagamit. However, for the purposes of today's discussion, we will focus on our capital asset. Okay? This second type or classification of capital asset, which is defined at Section 39 of the National Internal Revenue Code as amended by Train Law. So, pag ordinary asset used in ordinary course of business, ito namang capital asset is not for business use. However, not all capital assets are to be considered or ikukumpita na natin ang capital gains tax. Actually, dalawa lang yan. Isa is the sale of shares of stock of unlisted domestic corporation, and then the other one is the sale of real property in the Philippines. So, let's say, for example, you have a property not being used in ordinary course of business. However, when you sell that one, so let's say, for example, meron kang personal property. Okay, you have personal property, it's not used, nakatenga lang siya sa bahay nyo or sa warehouse nyo, whatsoever. Hindi siya binibenta, hindi din siya ginagamit sa business, pero hindi siya shares of stock at hindi din naman siya real property. So, we will not compute any capital gains tax for that. Okay, hindi siya pasok sa definition ng items that are subject to capital gains tax. So, for capital gains, dalawa lang yung titingnan natin guys, ang sale of shares of stock of unlisted domestic corporation and sale of real property in the Philippines. Okay? Now, let's look at the definition as provided at Section 39 of the NIRC. By the way, this is from PwC. Here the link na saan ko kinuha siya, no? So, the definition of a capital asset for the purposes of discussion, diba? Galing dapat yan sa mga pinagkakatiwalaang sources. Charot. The term capital asset means property held by the taxpayer, whether or not connected with his trade or business. Okay? Whether or not, but does not include stock in trade, so hindi siya parking inventory or other property of a kind which should properly be included in the inventory of the taxpayer if on hand at the close of the taxable year, or property held by the taxpayer primarily for sale to customers in the ordinary course of his trade or business. Diba, I've already mentioned, there are properties, actually it depends upon the nature of the business kasi. So, if you're into real estate, so most probably your inventory will include yung mga real property, di ba? So, yun, hindi yun capital asset, but an ordinary asset. Now, punta naman tayo, guys, sa shares of stock. So, we have here shares of stock, di ba? Ito yung first item na subject ng capital gains tax. Now, if it is publicly listed corporation, guys, it is not subject to capital gains tax, but it is subject to percentage tax. Okay? Take note, sale of shares of stock of a domestic corporation that is listed. So, we say publicly listed sa stock exchange, Philippine Stock Exchange. So, according to Section 127, on tax on sale, barter, or exchange of shares of stock listed and traded through the local stock exchange or through initial public offering, the tax rate is 0.6% of the gross selling price or gross value in money of the shares of stock sold, bartered, exchanged, or otherwise disposed, which shall be paid by the seller or transferor. Before, during my time, when I took the board, that's I think 0.5%. Ngayon, 0.6% na siya. Okay? Oo nga, 0.5% tama ba yung pagkakaalala ko? Anyway, 0.6 na siya of 1% ngayon. However, what about if nagbenta ka nga ng shares of stock, but that shares of stock is a foreign corporation and it was sold abroad. So, will it be computed? Same ba? Iko-compute pa natin yun using percentage tax? No. Since this sale is outside the country, it is consummated abroad, and that it is shares of stock of a foreign corporation, it will form part of your basic income tax. So, pag sabihin basic income tax, guys, we will follow the scheduler. Okay, yung mga bracket. Now, what would happen if it is unlisted domestic corporation? Ito po yung iko-computa natin ng capital gains tax. The formula of which is as follows. You have selling price, less the cost, less the selling price is equal to net capital gain multiplied by your tax rate is your capital gains tax. Now, what would be the corresponding tax rate? Okay, tingnan natin sa next slide. Here, according to Section 24, an income tax rate for individual citizen and individual resident alien, and on Section 27, on domestic corporation, ang rate po niya is 15% upon the net capital gains realized during the taxable year from the sale, barter, exchange, or other disposition of shares of stock in a domestic corporation except shares sold or disposed through the stock exchange. Kasi nga, yung gamit ng sales of stock through stock exchange, yung stock transaction tax. Okay, now, however, paano naman if yung foreign corporation? So, pag foreign corporation, iba din yung rate niya. Ito yung rate niya, guys. If it is not over 100,000, it's 5%. Any amount excess of 100,000, that is 10%. Okay, so Tapos na tayo doon. So, capital gains tax on shares of stocks unlisted. Okay? Yan. Next is yung real property naman, guys. Real property, nagbenta ka ng property, is located in the Philippines, tingnan. It could be subject to capital gains tax or it could also be exempt. Now, what about real property? Your real property located abroad, is it subject to capital gains tax? No. Yan is subject to basic income tax, which is schedular. Kasi nga, abroad. Itong capital gains tax, yung requisite niya is dapat dito siya sa Philippines. Property is located here in the Philippines. Now, dito muna tayo sa capital gains tax. So, if it is located in the Philippines, you will compute it. If, for example, it's not exempt, hindi siya pasok sa mga exempt transaction. So, the formula for computing capital gains tax on real property in the Philippines is the tax base multiplied by the tax rate, which is 6%. So, what is the tax base? So, the tax base is the highest value between the selling price, fair market value, and of the zonal value. Yung fair market value, this is being identified by the city assessor's office. Zonal value, ito yung binibigay na assessment ni BIR. So, whichever is higher. Okay? Now, if, what constitutes transactions that are exempt from capital gains tax? So, you have here the property sold must be the principal residence of the seller. What else? The proceeds is fully utilized in acquiring, constructing a new principal residence. The utilization must be made within 18 calendar months. So, ito yung mga kinakailangan tandaan. And then, of course, you need to notify the BIR within 30 days from the date of sale. Okay, hindi from the date of filing of the capital gains tax, but from the date of sale. And that the said exemption can only be availed once every 10 years. So, for example, your client is pasok siya dito. So, well, of course, we need to notify the BIR commissioner for the exemption. Now, what would happen if hindi mo na fully utilize yung proceeds? So, ito yung computation ng capital gains tax natin, guys. The sale of principal residence is hindi na-fulfill yung isa sa mga requirement, which is full utilization of the amount. We have the formula of taxable amount is equal to unutilized portion over gross selling price multiplied by gross selling price or zonal value at the time of sale, whichever is higher. Okay, whichever is higher tayo ha, parate. So now we have a sample problem here. Michael Burt sold his principal residence for 15 million to his friend Edgar. Now, if it's FMB, when he inherited it from his mother was 20 million, he used half of the proceeds to buy a new principal residence within 18 months after the sale. Assume further that Michael Burt properly informed the BIR about the sale within the required period. How much should be the capital gains tax? So, for example, this problem, in-identify niya na, na yung binibenta is principal residence, tapos, half of the proceeds lang yung na-utilize, so meaning, hindi talaga siya fully exempt of capital gains tax. Tapos, the proceed is for the purposes of purchasing new principal residence within 18 months, so check ulit yung isang requisite, and lastly is the notification to the BIR. So, since all the requirements have been complied with, we are now to compute the capital gains tax kasi hindi siya exempt. So, capital gains tax is computed at taxable amount times 6% times tax rate. Taxable amount, okay, 6% tax rate lang pa yan. So, 20 million, which is the fair market value, multiplied by 0.5, which is 1/2, fraction, no, 1/2 lang times 6%. So, the capital gains tax for that is 600,000. So, yan yung babayaran ni Michael Burt. Okay? So, that would be all, guys, for the capital gains tax. Susunod naman is the discussion on final withholding tax and the basic tax. So, stay tuned. Thank you and keep watching. Bye!